Well, hello, my baby gorillas, and we're here outside 10 Downing Street, the day that Boris is up in Edinburgh with his pledge to give £300 million to the Scottish people. The question is not whether the Scottish people want £300 million. The question is, do we want a Scottish stock market again? In Scotland, we used to have 3 stock markets. And now, obviously, all the stock market trading was transferred to London, and obviously London is doing very well out of this. The question is it in Scotland's economic interest to actually reintroduce a Scottish stock market and actually for competition to the London stock market in Scotland? Whether or not, see, and this is again back to the protectionism, the corporatism of the British establishment, and not allowing competition to the English stock market, the London stock market, by another stock market in Scotland. Now, the reason that all the Scottish stock markets were closed and it was transferred down to London was because they thought they would get higher volumes in London, which is correct. But a stock market also allows people to finance their companies, and it would be advantageous for us to actually finance our own companies in Scotland. And this is what the purpose of the stock market is, to buy and sell equity and debt through the actual market. So it's whether or not we can actually have the right. Now, we have to now go and ask for the right to actually re-establish the Scottish stock markets. They'd been set up a number of years ago. And I would prefer actually the reintroduction of a Scottish stock market than £300 million. And it seems like the protectionism from the Cabinet and from the actual British establishment may prevent that. And also the fact that the SNP don't look like they're very clued up in finance. I was already outside the exhibition centre in Edinburgh, and the people who were actually discussing this about the reintroduction of a Scottish currency didn't really have a clue about what it was going to take to actually reintroduce the Scottish currency, and the fact that we would need our own forex brokers, and this would require control over financial regulation and financial control, and this certainly wasn't happening. So I think rather than £300 million, where I don't know where Boris is pulling this figure from, and I don't know what it's going to be used for, I think it would be better actually if we actually reintroduced a Scottish stock market. And that's maybe what Boris should have been talking about up in Edinburgh, not the fact that he should have been talking about giving us £300 million to spend on God knows what. So whether or not we're actually going to have the right to actually reintroduce the Scottish stock market is going to be a completely different sort of scenario. And it's not, the SNP are not even asking for these things. Mary Black's talking about transphobia, and oh my goodness, that which is not really going to be relevant and pertinent to the majority of Scots. The majority of Scots want to have increased economic activity and increased wealth, and that's not going to come through prolonged conversations about transphobia. Anyway, the story and the actual requirement of the reintroduction of a Scottish stock market will have to be had. That may only happen through independence, or it may happen through a Devo Max sort of scenario where we get more powers to the Scottish Parliament, including the control of financial services and banking. Still being flexible within the single market, but just open up competition to new entrants and stop having this protectionist corporatism that we've got just now. Less regulation, less requirements for authorisation, and a totally different way of actually governing our financial services that's going to be advantageous for new start-up Scottish companies. So that's the situation. The question is, are we going to get a Scottish stock market again? Not just limited to Scottish companies, but they could have a bigger field and a bigger scope than what is available just now, or what would be envisaged. I have some ideas. Anyway, my baby Guerilla's 10 Downing Street. Boris is in Edinburgh, chatting away probably to the Scottish Government as well as Ruth Davison. And obviously he'll be telling Ruth what the changes are going to be. Obviously Mundell has been forced to step down as the Home Secretary. So really it's very interesting what's happening just now. Are we going to get the reintroduction of Scottish financial services to being regulated by Holyrood rather than Westminster, and the reintroduction of a Scottish stock market? Only time will tell, my baby Guerillas.